Good morning and greetings to everyone. Let us try to understand a few things about our human body and our needs. All of us know we need food, water, and oxygen to live. Without food, we can live 3 weeks. Without water, we can live 3 days. Without oxygen, 3 minutes we cannot live. Life activities will stop if oxygen is not available to our body, and there are individual exceptions for this. However, without oxygen for more than 10 minutes, most of the brain cells may not work. Let us try to understand how our body manages to get oxygen from the atmosphere. We are going to learn about red blood cells, or what they call erythrocytes. Red blood cells are in our bloodstream. They are the fine cells which carry oxygen to all the cells in our body. We shall try to examine how the gas oxygen enters into RBC, and from there how it reaches all the living cells, and from the living cells red blood cell collects another gas, that is carbon dioxide, brings it all the way and dumps it into lungs. This would be the fine function of our red blood cells. We shall try to study that with a little more detail in the next PPTs. In this presentation on erythrocytes or red blood cells, we will try to understand basic structural details of RBC, production of RBC, what hemoglobin does in our blood, functions of RBC in detail, health of RBCs, destruction of hemoglobin and what happens, and what is hypoxia. To begin with, we shall find out production of RBCs. That means where the RBCs are produced. Red blood cells are continuously produced in the red bone marrow of large bones. In embryo, liver is the main site of red blood cell production. Now you can see here, as you can see here, there is a long bone consisting of bone marrow. In the bone marrow, red blood cells are produced and it goes to all the parts of the living cells. In order to help the production, kidneys will send some proteins which may be inducers. They induce production of RBCs in the bone marrow of our body. Like that, red blood cells are produced in the bone marrow of the adults. We shall look at red blood cell and find out its shape. RBC or erythrocyte has biconcave disc-like shape, thin in the center and thick on sides. As you can see in this image, it is almost like a plate where center is thin and the sides are thick. RBCs are very small. They are so small that they can pass through the tiniest capillaries in our blood system. We shall now study some details, that is structure of RBC. As you could see, RBCs have cell membrane like any other cell. They have cytoskeleton. That part you must have studied in your lower classes. A mature RBC do not have a nucleus. That is very important to note. RBCs do not have mitochondria. They do not have endoplasmic reticulum. Cell membrane is highly elastic. RBCs can change their shape. They are passive in nature. They do not contain mitochondria. They contain number of enzymes. They contain millions of hemoglobin molecules. One RBC is said to have an estimated 300 million molecules of hemoglobin, which are important to transport oxygen. RBCs cannot reproduce another RBC because they have no nucleus, they do not have DNA. Surface of the RBCs may contain many proteins. Some of them are called antigens. At least you should know 4 antigens: A, B, AB. They are proteins. Based upon their presence, our blood may be grouped into A group, B group, AB group, and O group. You may study these things in detail in your higher classes. Some more details of RBCs. Red blood cells pass through very narrow capillaries. Therefore, their size is very, very small. Often, RBCs change their shapes. Their membrane plays many roles. Functions are highly dependent on the membrane composition. Red blood cell membrane is composed of 3 layers: carbohydrates, lipid bilayer, and proteins. It is highly complicated to discuss the structure of membrane in this session of 30 or 40 minutes. Therefore, when you go to higher class, you may study the membrane structure of RBCs. Production of RBCs is often called by name erythropoiesis. Erythropoiesis takes place in the bone marrow, where stem cells, cells which have not been differentiated into anything, mature into red blood cells in about 7 days. When matured, that is, in a healthy individual, these cells live in blood circulation for about 100 to 120 days. That means when once the red blood cells enter into your bloodstream, it goes through every part of the body for 100 to 120 days. At the end of their lifespan, that is about 100 or 120 days, they are removed from circulation. They are broken down and they will go away. In many chronic diseases, the lifespan of the red blood cell is reduced. So, in a normal individual, a red blood cell may live about 100 or 120 days carrying oxygen to all the cells and bringing back carbon dioxide from the cells to the lungs. That will be a non-stop function of RBCs. RBCs cannot do certain things like a normal cell. Since they do not have nucleus, RBCs cannot biosynthesize any proteins. Since they do not contain mitochondria, red blood cells cannot use energy using glucose and oxygen, but they get energy by means of glycolysis, where oxygen is not used. Because of the lack of nuclei and other organelles like endoplasmic reticulum, etc., mature red blood cells do not contain DNA and they cannot synthesize RNA also. Consequently, they cannot divide into new red blood cells. They have limited repair capabilities. These things you must understand because red blood cells do not contain nucleus. Therefore, their lifespan is limited, their functions also limited. They have specialized in carrying oxygen and bringing back carbon dioxide. That is their main function. The inability to carry out protein synthesis means that no virus can evolve to target mammalian red blood cells, but this is not correct at the moment. Corona is getting into RBC and then trying to make its own copies. We do not know exactly how it multiplies itself into cells. Here are some interesting and very important facts about red blood cells. One drop of blood may contain about 5 million red blood corpuscles or red blood cells. They are called corpuscles because they do not have nucleus. A man who is about 75 kilos may have 25 trillion RBCs. That is 25 followed by 12 zeros. So many red blood cells are present in his body. A single RBC may contain as many as 300 million hemoglobin molecules. One red blood cell containing so many hemoglobin molecules means capacity to carry oxygen is highly appreciated by RBCs. One hemoglobin molecule carries 4 oxygen molecules. You can now find out if there are 300 million hemoglobin molecules. Each hemoglobin can carry 4 oxygen molecules. Now that means 300 million into 4. So many molecules of oxygen is carried by one RBC, and you remember we have 25 trillion RBCs in our body. Huge amount of RBCs will help us to supply our oxygen needs. You must have learned in the newspaper and the TV today, people are dying in the hospitals without oxygen. Why? Because hemoglobin is blocked by the virus. Oxygen is not entering into RBCs. RBCs go to cells without oxygen, and therefore they are all dying. One RBC holds 1 billion molecules of oxygen. Oxygen will not be and cannot be stored in our body cells. You know, glucose can be stored, proteins can be stored, fats can be stored in our body, but our mammalian body do not have the mechanism to store oxygen. Oxygen must come fresh from air, and it should be used by the mammalians, including man. Oxygen is supplied to the body by blood circulation, using it from the atmosphere. The only source of oxygen to human beings is atmosphere. If we don't have oxygen in the atmosphere, there will be catastrophe. As you could see, people who are having hypoxia because of coronavirus, we are giving oxygen from the cylinders, pure oxygen, because that is a different way of making a man to live. Please try to understand that RBCs are very, very important for our living. Lungs give oxygen to RBCs via breathing, and RBCs carry oxygen through blood circulation to all the parts of the body. Lungs get their supply of oxygen from the air. You can understand oxygen from the air is not paid by anyone, free supply by nature. Imagine if you want to pay for oxygen, how much we have to pay throughout our life. Today you have seen people are buying oxygen cylinders in black market. That too, one cylinder may come for few hours. Let me not discuss this in this PPT, but I would like to only highlight you the nature gift that we have, oxygen, and the nature's gift of RBC, which help us to live happily on this earth. Having understood a little about red blood cell, let us try to understand little more details about hemoglobin. As I told you earlier, hemoglobin molecules are present inside the RBCs. Hemoglobin is a complex protein. It is made up of 4 amino acid chains, and it has about 574 amino acids in its composition. Each of the 4 chain contain an iron containing compound called Heme. That means hemoglobin contains iron. Iron is very important, as you know, in our food. If you don't take iron containing food, you don't get proper nutrition and you may suffer from anemia. And it is actually oxygen that binds with the oxygen and carries it to all the parts. We don't go to those details, but what you should know now would be hemoglobin is a complex protein. It contains iron molecules. This iron molecules binds with the oxygen and then oxygen is carried through bloodstream to all the cells. Hemoglobin transports oxygen and carbon dioxide in our bloodstream. The diagrams are given. It may be difficult for us to discuss the details of that. If you just remember that hemoglobin contains 4 amino acid chains and each contain a compound called heme that contains iron, and iron compounds with oxygen and carries to all the parts of the living cells. What are the major functions of RBCs? By this time you must have understood that RBC's main function is to transport oxygen and bring back carbon dioxide. Collection of oxygen molecules from lungs by a process of diffusion. In this diagram I have shown one alveoli, and that is one small microscopic sac in the lungs. Our lungs contain millions of alveoli. Alveoli get oxygen from the air, and then from alveoli oxygen diffuses into blood capillaries. From the blood capillaries it gets into RBCs, and RBCs carry oxygen to all the living cells in the body, and they empty oxygen into cells, again by diffusion. The mechanism of exchange of gases in and out of cells are complex. You must study the membrane dynamics for it. You will not do that now. You only tell that hemoglobin collects carbon dioxide from the cells and again carry it to the lungs, and they empty carbon dioxide into alveoli. This happens continuously 24 hours a day from birth to death. It is a non-stop process. Oxygen comes to blood cells in a very peculiar way. Our human body has heart, and the heart has blood vessels, and blood vessels help in this collection and distribution of oxygen. We have what's called double circulation, and we will understand what double circulation is maybe in the next PPT. Regarding functions of RBCs, the recent research has indicated that RBCs are important in inter-organ communication systems with additional functions like control of systemic nitric oxide metabolism, redox regulation, that is oxidation reduction regulation, blood rheology, and viscosity. That means I'm trying to tell you that RBCs not only do the main function of distribution of gases, It also controls many and most important functions regarding reduction and oxidation in our body, which are very helpful for our inter-organ communication system. They are complicated things. I just wanted to tell you that RBCs do many more functions, including distribution of gases. I mentioned to you earlier that there is double circulation in human beings. What does it mean? Human heart has 4 chambers. That is, heart is divided into 4 parts. Upper 2 parts are called auricles and the lower 2 parts are called ventricles. We can call them right and left parts, and there is right auricle and left auricle, right ventricle and left ventricle. In the picture, whatever you see here, the red part is oxygenated blood, or what's called pure blood, and the blue colored part indicates the impure blood or deoxygenated blood or blood with carbon dioxide. You could see that from one part of the heart, that is from the ventricle, blue colored blood vessels go and get into lungs. In the lungs, they get oxygenated and they come back showing with the red color and come back to heart. So that is one kind of circulation, that is from, it's called pulmonary circulation, heart to lungs and back to heart. That is, heart, one part of the heart carries blood to the lungs, it's purified, and purified blood comes back to heart again. That's called pulmonary circulation because it is connected to pulmonary means lungs. The second is called systemic circulation. That is for all the parts in the body. Again, from the heart, you could see the red colored blood vessel goes down and up to all the parts, distributes to all the cells, oxygen is distributed, and then carbon dioxide is collected, and such blood comes back to heart again. That is called systemic circulation. Here, from heart, oxygenated blood goes to all the parts and brings back to heart without oxygen, that is deoxygenated blood comes back. And since there are 2 circulations, one in the connected to lungs and second connected to other parts, it's called double circulation, but that happens simultaneously. One will not follow the other. When once the heart pumps, one kind of blood leaves the heart, and when heart opens, blood comes back to the heart. That's double circulation. We can understand this when you study heart in detail. Now we shall just think of health of RBCs. We have so far studied one major thing, that is RBCs are the only cells in the body that supplies oxygen and collects carbon dioxide. That means throughout the life, RBCs will be doing that function. And they must be healthy. Cells in the body are subjected to various kinds of attacks from microbes, maybe from diseases, maybe from wounds. That means many injuries may happen, but RBCs also must be healthy. Let's try to know some of the factors that might not help RBCs to carry full blood or full oxygen to the cells. Like any other living cells of our body, RBCs also have disorders. One major disorder is called anemia. I will not discuss much of these things here. Let us only list them. Anemia, enzyme deficiencies, cell membrane disorder, sickle cell anemia, nutritional anemia, hemolytic anemia, disorder of hemoproduction, hemoglobin breakage. Now all these disorders are connected to RBCs only. I am talking of only RBCs, red blood corpuscles or red blood cells may have these disorders. When disorders are there in the RBC, what happens? That's our important question. When disorders are there, oxygen carrying capacity is lowered. When RBCs cannot carry full load of oxygen, then that condition becomes hypoxia. That means load of oxygen to cells is lowered because of the disorder of the red blood cells. Well, doctors may identify these disorders and may give particular treatment to overcome these things. My point only here is to tell you that you must take care of your RBCs. Doctors can tell you when you have got problem with your RBC by examining it under microscope and other methods. They will find out what disorder is there in the RBC and treatment may be given. No oxygen, no life. Today, we are witnessing people dying due to non-availability of oxygen to their body cells because of COVID-19. And that condition is usually called hypoxia condition. Oxygen entry to RBCs is blocked in the alveoli due to COVID-19. The lining inflames and then diffusion is not possible. That is one way how oxygen cannot enter into RBCs. COVID-19 may also break hemoglobin. That's what some research papers indicate. COVID-19 may enter into RBC and break the hemoglobin molecules. They destroy them, and that will block the ability of the molecule to carry or collect oxygen molecules. So these conditions, whether it is blocking of oxygen in the alveoli or breakdown of hemoglobin, these lead to a condition where blood cannot carry the full load of oxygen to living cells. When this happens for more than 10 minutes or 20 minutes or 30 minutes, people may not be able to live. It is fatal. They may die. We have seen, we heard in the TV today how people died when there is no supply of oxygen. Therefore, dear children, we should know that wearing masks to go out, washing your hands are very important to protect your RBCs. Let us sum up what we learned today in this presentation. The most important thing is RBC is its hemoglobin. Hemoglobin collects oxygen from alveoli, carries, distributes to all living cells via blood circulation. In turn, it collects carbon dioxide from all living cells, carries via circulation and dumps it into alveoli. RBCs have short span of life. New RBCs emerge from bone marrow. Oxygen is life-supporting gas available free in atmosphere. Disease-producing microbes may block the transport and supply of oxygen in our body and may be fatal. Just to remember and recollect, I have shown here in the PPT in the central part a coronavirus. That coronavirus may enter our body and block the transport of oxygen to all the cells. When that happens, lungs will not be able to give oxygen to the red blood cells and red blood cells cannot carry. Thus, living cells have deficiency of oxygen and they may not work. That's the main thing that we understood. Therefore, try yourself to protect from the COVID. Well, lastly, my acknowledgements of my gratefulness to Google, from where a number of important information is collected and, presented here. I am also grateful to Creative Commons for very important images. These are all used purely for disseminating knowledge and not for profit purpose. I am also grateful to YouTube for publishing this.